I'll start off with the introduction. So, ESL education is crucial in secondary schools, shaping linguistic and cultural competence for students in learning English as their second language. This specialized approach addresses language challenges, fostering a supportive environment. The ESL framework focuses more on reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. This exploration delves into diverse methodologies and resources used to create an inclusive, effective ESL learning experience for other students. So the chosen video that we chose evaluates a lesson on descriptive text, emphasizing writing skills to equip students for academic success and interrogation into the English-speaking community. So we had found 3 issues from the video that we chose to evaluate. The main purpose of this video is to teach students about descriptive text. That is the first issue that we found.
The second issue is, it can be deduced that the teacher had planned an interactive teaching and learning session for his classroom. This can be supported by the teacher's method of teaching and the response that he received from his students. He had prepared presentation slides beforehand to help him in his teaching. Instead of just explaining everything verbally, he had prepared an interesting presentation slide that had a creative layout, design, and also simple words that was also written in detail that was able to help the students understand what was being taught by him. Infused, and they could keep up with the teacher's teaching because they had the slides as an aid to help them understand what is he talking when. Apart from that, he would also often ask the students after explaining something if the students understood what he was saying. In this way, he could see if the students were actually understanding what was being taught by him and if they were at the same pace as him. And if they weren't, he could slow down and help them understand better. The third issue that can be seen is, the goal of this lesson is to ensure that the students understood what descriptive text was and they are able to use it in their writing. To ensure that this goal is reached, the teacher came up with many ways of teaching. For example, he had the presentation slides aid to help him in his teaching. He also often asked them questions and asked them if they understood what he was teaching them. And he also prepared a number of practices for the students to do to test themselves to see how far they have understood so far and to see how much they have grasped from the lesson on that day.
Based on the analysis that has been made by watching the video, we notice that the teacher has a strong understanding of grammar and language structure. This trait is crucial for an ESL teacher because it allowed the teacher to provide clear, accurate explanations of the rules and patterns of the English language. This knowledge allowed the teacher to help students form correct sentences and use language effectively. It is clear that because the teacher is well informed, he can anticipate common mistake and offer target instruction to address these issues. This can lead to a more confident use of the language as students understand the underlying principle of English grammar and can apply them in various contexts. Furthermore, because the teacher has a solid grammatical foundation, he can tailor the student diverse linguistic need, resulting in a more personalized and effective learning experience. As an example, in the video, the teacher used a simple illustration that can be easily relayed to the students. So, ESL teacher should enhance their grammar knowledge to better explain complex concepts, provide clear example, and enhance comprehensions.
Okay, now let's talk about classroom management skills. In the video, the teacher shines in creating an engaging and organized learning environment by actively involving students through readings, questions, and voluntary participation. The teacher strengthened the bond with the class, fostering comprehension and a fun learning atmosphere. The skills contribute to a more efficient teaching and learning process, setting the stage for student success. Now onto another standout trait, which is knowledge delivery. The teacher excels in making subject matter clear and understandable, catering to the secondary school level. This careful and organized delivery ensures students to feel confident in gaining knowledge, preventing anyone from getting left behind. Effective knowledge delivery is as crucial as the lesson content itself, emphasizing this importance of clear communications, tones, pronunciation, and using words that resonate with ESL students. Now to the next part of the presentation, I'll pass it to the next presenter.
Next, I'm going to talk about the weakness that we can find in the video. Naturally, the majority of teachers use a variety of instructional strategies and methods. Thus, the video highlights a few of the flaws that we may identify. The use of mixed language is one of the issues that are evident here. Whichever immersion technique a person chooses does appear to matter, particularly in bilingual education. Language mixing within the context of a subject is prohibited under a rule known as the one language, one subject rule, since it is assumed that doing so will generate confusion and lead to delay learning. To give an example, the teacher in the video was speaking in English when he was teaching, while teaching the content while using the local tongue when he was conversing and explaining. Nonetheless, it has been demonstrated that proficient bilingual convert information from one language into the other on the spur of the moment and without conscious thought. Also, multiple studies have indicated that for reasonably balanced bilingual, the aspect of implicit translation is negligible. Next, I'm going to pass this to Noreen.
So, another weakness in this video is lack of objectivity. Lack of objectivity in teaching can be a weakness because it may lead to biased assessment, favorism, and uneven learning experience for students. Lack of objectivity in teaching refers to a situation where educators allow personal bias, preference, or subjective judgment to influence the teaching method, assessment criteria, or interaction with students. This can result in uneven treatment, unfair evaluation, and hinder the overall learning experience for students. Objectivity involves being impartial, fair, and basing decision on clear criteria rather than personal feeling or preference. This kind of weakness in teaching can be manifest in various ways. For an example from the video, the teacher are a bit biased in assessment. Teacher may unintentionally favor certain students based on personal preference, leading to biased grading and assessment. Also, the teacher in the video are lack in curriculum choices. Subjective preference might influence the selection of teaching material and topic, limiting exposure to diverse perspective and idea. So, in teaching, addressing a lack of objectivity involves consciously striving for impartiality, avoiding favorism, and presenting information in balanced manner. This helps create an environment where students can form their own opinion based on a comprehensive understanding of the subject matter rather than being influenced by the teacher's personal bias. It ultimately contributes to more effective and fairer educational experience.
Now on to the last part. After we had fully analyzed the video, we realized that the teacher had achieved the objective of the ESL teaching and learning session by showing his strength in teaching. And from his weakness, we can also see that the teacher should also find solution to overcome the weakness of his session. So from all of this, we can see we can learn from his strengths and try to avoid from his weaknesses. So that's all from us. Thank you.